Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I hope there's some folks who would like to join me for a live tonight. I was just going to talk about the holidays a little bit and also be open to questions. I have a lot of folks who contact me and say, "Oh, I just wish I could just ask you some questions." And this is an opportunity for you to do that. And I'll be making this statement again. And in terms of how to ask questions here, certainly putting a capital question in all caps and then writing a brief question. I think there'll be some people joining us tonight. So I thought I'd share a few things at the beginning here while people are joining us. I don't think I have to really say this, but I'm sure there are some people who I know are concerned about this, that holiday times can be a difficult time for adult children. Adult children of alcoholics, adult children of narcissists, adult children of abuse, those who are codependent, those who have dysfunctional families, those who have narcissistic families. It can be a difficult time during the holidays. And then it can be difficult for people during the holidays, even if their families are great, because oftentimes there's lots of stresses and time constraints and activities on top of what we're already doing of work and the kids and plenty of things that are going on in our own lives. And then you add the holidays and it becomes a lot more busy. And I think for adult children, it can be particularly difficult because it is not uncommon for adult children to have a history of broken relationships. So maybe there has been a divorce, you've experienced a divorce, maybe several divorces, maybe several broken relationships in the past. And so we don't have that all intact nuclear family, nor might we even have an all intact extended family or family of origin. And again, that can be troubling. Many times families have rifts and disagreements and hurts and wounds um, and cutoffs, bitterness, resentment. I don't know how many people I talk to who talk about, oh, yeah, my dad and his two brothers haven't talked in the last 25 years. Or, my my mom's siblings are not in contact with each other, and there are divided families for many of us, and that can be difficult during the holidays because it brings up that division and brings up those breakages. So there could be a history of broken relationships, and the holidays can be a time of remembering those, or that's a time when we are maybe more acutely aware of them. There, and as I've mentioned, can be family tension, family wars, family disagreements, um, and families may not be mature enough, calm enough, self differentiated enough to leave the issues or the problems at the door and to be cordial and to have a connected family time. And and I think a lot of dysfunctional families have a difficult time doing that. They may attempt it, which I give them credit for. I hope that they do. I think that's a better way to do the holidays. I don't think the holidays are a time for ironing out all the problems. The holidays should be a time where we just kind of have one-on-one contact and and kind of celebrate our relationships, not deal with and focus on all the problems. Um, I think it can be a difficult time for adult children also, and for many people. Those who have been divorced, those who might be alone, seeing others enjoy maybe an easier holiday time. And you're going, well, why can't I enjoy an easier holiday time? Why is my family messed up? Why did I go through all those difficult times? Well, those are questions that are beyond my pay grade, but recovery is a part of what I focus on, and we certainly want to work on letting go of our past failures, and and it may be we would love to have peace on earth. Maybe we could begin by having peace in me, and that's how I see the holidays, as having a more peaceful inside. Holidays can be a time where we have expectations, maybe even dashed hopes, maybe even too much expectations put on us during the holiday times, and how we have to be, what we have to do, what we have to say. Um, and then I know there are a lot of people who are in recovery who might have religious backgrounds in which they have estrangement from religious communities. They may have grown up, let's say, in the church or the mosque or the temple or synagogue, or, they may have grown up in that, but because of difficulties and problems or dysfunctional families, they're estranged from religious communities. And for many people, they feel religious communities enhanced more of the problems than actually brought about healing or help. And that happens too. Um, I also think it can be a source of connectedness and joy too, if you can find a good and healthy religious community. Um, I think holidays can be difficult if we're remembering childhood pain. Um, that commonly occurs during the holidays. And then the holidays occur, at least, the holidays that are more traditional occurs during the winter time, in which we can experience seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression because it's not as sunny. There's more cloudiness, not as, it could be cold, and that can add to depression. Um, and then also for adult children and most of us, we have questions that come up during this time, like, do I go to the family gathering or not? Do I go or do I not go? And there's some pain around that, because it feels like if I go it can be problematic, and if I don't go it can be problematic. So it really makes it difficult for the holidays, and that's where I try to help people become more the captain of their own ships for the holiday. And that's what I encourage folks to do. If you have a question and you'd be interested in asking me tonight, again, if you could make it short, write question, make it all caps, and then write a brief question after that. If you for sure want your question asked, you can make a donation. I can try to get to those, because some of the we sometimes have so many questions, I have to make choices in there. And I do offer an awful lot of free videos and shorts out there on YouTube, which I hope that you will take advantage of. In fact, I have a holiday video coming out very soon in which I talk about 11 ways to survive the holidays with your family. So I hope you'll take a look at that. That'll be coming out very soon. So join my YouTube channel, subscribe, like this video, and make comments as well. And if you notice on my comments, we try to comment on just about everyone's comment. because we feel the community that we have who follow us, we really want to engage with them. I've got a few questions already. One is from Kay, and if you don't want me to use your name or a letter, you can put a letter down there or anonymous or whatever you'd like to do. How do I respond when in-laws ask, for example, of why we are setting boundaries when we have already told them we want them to stop insulting me? Thanks, Jerry. You are such a great role model. And I appreciate those kind words. There are times I feel I can be a role model, and other times I may not be the best role model. But I am working towards a greater maturity in self differentiation myself. But thank you, Kay. Well, I think if they ask you about why you're continuing to set boundaries, I would also, number one, I would be confused. Why are you asking me this question? I might share. Because, of course, we would set boundaries if they don't stop insulting me. Then we will, or I will be setting boundaries. So I hope mom and dad or in laws or whoever, I hope you will not be surprised by that move on my part because it is a logical move. I've asked you not to insult me. That I don't appreciate that. And if we're going to come for the holidays, I would like it to be cordial, which means respect is important and essential. And so please, I've asked you not to insult me. If you do, then we will have to make other choices. I'm not sure that's what you want, but you can't have it both ways. Me coming and celebrating the holiday with you and you insulting me. Those do not go together. And I will not take them together. And so one of us needs to adjust. One of us needs to self-regulate. You can self-regulate by not insulting me. I can self-regulate by setting boundaries and maybe seeing you less or not coming. And again, I'm kind of thinking out loud. I'm not sure I would tell them all of that, but I might ask them, well, that's a funny question that you would ask. Um, you know, why we would be setting boundaries when we've already made it clear what the boundaries are about and why. So I'm not sure. I'm still confused, in laws. I'm still confused. And I think it's very important when it comes to in laws that the blood spouse do some discussion with the in laws. Whoever whoever those in laws are, whoever parent that would be, which would probably be your spouse or your partner, they need to talk with the parents and go, this is not okay. This is my wife. This is my husband. That's not okay. And if you continue to do it, which I hope you won't, then we will have to set some other boundaries. And, we want to come here for the holidays. We would enjoy doing that. But it's not good holidays if there's insults. And holidays are not for insults. And then if they were Christian in laws, I would go, and what would Jesus do? Would Jesus be insulting me? That's a little impish. It's a little ornery, but it's what would Jesus do? And you're not being very Jesus-like if we're celebrating the holidays. I have another question from Goo, Goo. What if it is impossible to avoid a family member you have gone no contact with during the holidays? How can one practice the tools of recovery while not being a people pleaser? And, that's a great question. There are people who have gone no contact with a certain family member, but if you're going to someone else's house or grandparents' house or so, they might invite that estranged family member from you. And so, if you want to go, and if you plan on going, and I think in some ways it depends on how severe the trauma or abuse or reasons for going no contact might be also. If there was serious problems going on, whether abuse of some kind, then I'm not sure I would go at all. And I would tell folks, I can't do that. I'll do the holidays with you on another day. Grandpa and Grandpa, I'll come see you 2 days later. You go ahead and have everybody, and you have them come there, and that'd be fine. But that's not something I can do. Um, the other thing we can do is, if it is a relatively safe environment, then I would go, be cordial, be gray rock, be, and just be a human being. Um, and I might even go, hello. I might, and then not say another word. I'm being cordial. I would probably avoid them at the gathering, because that's not somebody I want to be in contact with. And so I don't have to. I'll go to another part of the house. Um, and again, I think it can either be done that way, depending upon the circumstances. Everybody's circumstances are different. Everybody's dealing with different types of no contact and for different reasons. So we want to be real careful about judging other people or going, well, Jerry, if somebody's gone no contact, they shouldn't even be talking to them at this. There are different families and different circumstances. And so we want to be patient and tolerant. And some people really want to go to that holiday event, but they do have to see someone they're going to be in no contact with. But that doesn't mean they have to interact with them. And you can choose to not talk to them at all, or not say hello, or you can do whatever you'd like to do, if you don't want to do that. Um, and I think it would depend on how much trouble they would cause if you withdrew from them. Um, the I think it is common, though, whenever I've had struggles over holiday or family gatherings, then I always kind of go, well, then I won't do that event, but let me do an event with you later, the next day. Or let me do an event with you the day before. Yeah, but that's not like where our whole family's going to be together. I realize our whole family is not going to be together. I'm okay with that. I hope you would be too. I'm offering you an alternative if I don't choose to come to the main event, because there are reasons I don't want to come to the main event. But it doesn't mean I might not want to spend Christmas with you guys. But there may be, again, a number of people, or if it's going to be a cabal or a crowd of scapegoating you, well, then I don't want to do that. Maybe your parents don't scapegoat you, but all the siblings do. Well, then I'll go visit the parents afterwards and avoid the siblings at the main event. And I offer another day, and I'm going to be talking about not getting hung up on the days and that particular day. Because again, and I'll be sharing that in a little bit. I hope that helps, GOO. And Fernando, Jerry, how can I stop going back and forth, getting into amnesia of the craziness and going back to the dysfunctional family? I think that is a common problem that a lot of people have. And by the way, Hush Little Matrix, thank you very much for your donation. That's greatly appreciated. Thank you for helping out. How can I stop going back and forth, getting into amnesia of the craziness and going back into the dysfunctional family? One of the things and I'm going to be talking about that point too here in a minute, which has to do with the denial. When it comes to families, we become very fogged up. Um, where we become very unclear. We have amnesia about things. We think it's going to be better this time. There are lots of things that go on when it comes to families because there's such a strong super self presence within us. We've been programmed also, and society also programs us as well. Well, I know your family may treat you horribly, but I'm sure they really love you. That's a statement out of our society. And that's what's commonly believed. Now, I don't think, people are objective enough to go, well, I don't know. Maybe your family really doesn't love you or doesn't know how to. How many people have you heard that from? Because we all have that denial and intergenerational kind of blindness that comes along. Then we go back to the dysfunctional family, and then it's a madness situation. And then we're going, what am I doing here? What did I forget? I thought, last year was horrible. Now I'm back here again, and it's horrible again. And so, how do you get over the amnesia? I think working with a coach or a therapist can help get over that amnesia. I think also looking at the fantasies that we have about our family, that I'm still hoping for that good family. I'm still hoping for that Hallmark family that some people have, but I never had. I just hope for that to happen. Um, and my family members can do this, this, and this. Well, why can't they be good then? If they can do this and they can do that, why can't they just do right? Well, those are complicated questions. And so we have to lower our expectations, increase our rational awareness and objectivity about family members and about our family and what we can expect, and that we also want to not deny the past. If the last 15 holidays have been bad when we've attended, then we want to ask ourselves, why do we think this one is going to be different? Maybe I need to do some different things to make this one different. I need to be different. And maybe I need to stay for only an hour. Maybe I need to stay for only 15 minutes. Maybe I need to not go at all. And and again, I think that amnesia is a part of the denial, and actually it's a part of a type of enmeshment as well. And we want to become more emotionally detached. And I use a tennis court analogy of people being on one side of the tennis net, me being on the other side of the tennis net. Well, we can also put our families on that side of the tennis net and us on this side of the net. And that we evaluate the relationship we have with them based on where they are on the tennis court. When I go to the holiday, Fernando, when you go to the holiday and you find, oh, it's all craziness again, does that mean there's too much enmeshment going on? Is everybody jumping over your net to your side of the tennis court? And getting in your face and doing crazy things, because then you may have to do some different things with your tennis court. And you may have to move on your side of the court as well to avoid some of those difficulties. The amnesia, that's when we have to start writing down what truly are the ways my family functions, understands love, understands respect, and all of those kinds of things. And if they don't, then we're going to get into hoping for some new behavior. And oftentimes that does not come. We just hope for it. And what I found is that when we've come out of the amnesia or the denial, it actually can do more to change a family than staying in the denial. Because staying in the denial only keeps this family unhealthy super self going. It just keeps supporting it. Sherry, thank you very much for your donation as well. I appreciate it very, very much. You're so kind. And that helps with costs because it takes time and energy to do all these things. I wanted to share with you a few resources, if I could. And well, one of them, for sure, it's a book I've always liked, and it's called Unplugging the Christmas Tree. And and I think that it's how to have the Christmas you always wanted. It is a book that she writes primarily for Christians, but I don't think it's only for Christians. And I think at the end of it, there's a commitment statement at the end, which would be really good for anyone in a recovery program, anyone who's an adult child, and where she talks about really making the holidays your own. And I think that's one of the healthier ways to deal with the holidays rather than I just go along for the holidays so that everybody else will be happy. That is often not going to work for the adult child. And you may need to start your own traditions to bring about peace and tranquility for your own life. It doesn't mean you can't have some contact with your family, even a rather crazy family, as long as they are not abusive. But contact with them or going and being with them, and avoiding some of the pitfalls by becoming a little more aware of your own triggers, and can help you be a much more solid adult at holiday gatherings. I also have, I think there's another method that you can use. Go to holiday gatherings and be boring. Again, that kind of keeps your head down and keeps you out of the radar, under the radar. If you've got a family who's kind of volatile and kind of looking for people to attack or that sort of thing. Well, in this video, and by the way, if you want to ask another question, please write question, make it capitalized, and then write a short question for me to answer. And any donation would be certainly appreciated. If some of the tips that I might give during the holidays, I've already kind of mentioned one, adjusting your expectations. I think so many times we have more trouble if we expect so much more. And if we expect family members to behave in ways they cannot or choose not to behave in those ways. I also believe another thing that's very important for the holidays is to decide and work on managing yourself, not others. Not trying to get mom to quit complaining, dad from quit withdrawing. We don't want to be spending our time trying to manage others. Well, why can't dad come out here and join us and talk with us? He never does. And mom, you're always criticizing everything. When are you going to stop? Now I'm trying to manage dad, I'm trying to manage mom. And guess what's going to happen to my holiday? It's not going to work out very well because they won't be very appreciative of my caretaking or fixing or managing. I need to accept that they're going through their own process during the holidays. And this is the pattern, these are the patterns they've been in for decades. And it will take quite a miracle for them to make changes. And I doubt if your pay grade is high enough to make that happen. The person where you do have the right amount of pay grade is with yourself. You can make changes in yourself. We also, during the holidays, want to disengage from drama. Families can be very dramatic, very chaotic. I want to disengage from it. And I like to go and observe rather than absorb. Ross Rosenberg uses that phrase. Be sure to observe, not absorb. Go in the holidays and learn to watch. Learn to see what's going on. And take what you see and learn from it. You can often see some very interesting things. Where the anxiety goes from person to person, and also who reacts to whom in particular ways, and what triggers different people. And you can learn a lot about a family by just watching. And I know they're your family, but you can be an observer of that family. I think for the holidays, I recommend people resist defensiveness. Defensiveness is always problematic because it keeps the argument going. And when I choose not to be defensive, I'm dropping the tug of war argument rope. In other words, when I choose to not be defensive, I'm letting go of my end of the tug of war and the rope. And I want to do that because oftentimes it's not going to be helpful to be reactive. I've gotten another question here from Taxi. My reactive family uses my calmness against me. They say they are reactive because I wronged them, but I'm not reactive because they've done nothing to me. But I'm not reactive because they've done nothing to me. I still believe in calmness. Please help. Well, that certainly is dysfunctional thinking on the family's part. In other words, they're saying, we have a right to be reactive because how you've treated us. And you're calm because we've never done anything to you. And that's why you're calm. And of course, I might respond, well, I'm not sure you understand why I'm calm. Without being defensive, I'm just saying, I don't think you understand why I'm being calm. And it's not for the reason that you stated. In other words, you're not calm because they've never done anything. And then also, if they feel wronged, then and I think again that would be a classic kind of either narcissistic or dysfunctional family logic. Taxi. I think it would be, and that's a great statement that you made, because it is so clever. Because when you're the victim and have a victim mentality, then everything the other person does is a point for your side. It is an argument for your side of being victimized, just like in this case. Hey, you're calm because we haven't done anything to you. And again, I like to correct the record without defending myself. Correcting the record simply means, oh, you don't understand why I'm calm. I see. Okay. Um, and I'm not going to go into, oh, well, I'm calm because I've learned to grow up and you've hurt me and wronged me so many times, but now I've learned to be more calm. I'm not going to tell them that because that's a defensiveness. They're not going to believe it. They're not going to understand it. They're not. But I can at least say there's some information you don't have. And, and I can leave it at that. Well, we don't understand why you're so calm. Well, we know why you're calm because of, well, that's interesting because I see it quite differently than that. And um, and I'm not sure. Well, and again, I don't know more of the situation, so I can't speak too much more to it. But I hope that that type of thinking might be something you could borrow when someone is accusing even your maturity as being a reason to as a reason for them to criticize you, which is really what it is. Self-differentiation, calmness. And by the way, when I tell people to go home, and this is an important point, when I tell people to go home and be calm, I'm not telling them to go home to their families or go to their family gatherings and be calm for the sake of the family or to change them. I'm suggesting they go be calm for them, for themselves. So it's not meant to now it still could trigger other people. I understand that, Texie. You're absolutely right. It could be triggering, but my calmness really has nothing to do with you guys. This is my choice of calmness. I choose to be calm. It really isn't about you. It's about my work. But again, I like saying, well, I'm not sure that you have that very well understood, family, in terms of my calmness. But I hope we have a good holiday. I hope the day can go well. I have another question. Let me take a look. Okay, well, and I'm not sure exactly, Donna, um, what your struggle is, but I'll. Homosexual family member, I don't condemn. He knows I love him, but he's already come out recently with his partner. At Christmas, we'll be in a house where I can't really hide out. Input: I do not want to be in a situation where he might surprise us with an announcement about a marriage. Not sure, but it could be, and I would not want to be there at that point. And Donna, that's where I'm uncertain. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be there. I'm not saying it couldn't be awkward for a family. That happens every day of the year. When people come out to their families, there can be some awkwardness. I think I would take that it's your relationship with him is yours. It's not the family's relationship with him, it's your relationship with him. And I would continue to be very clear about that. I don't know what kind of drama that would cause for your family. I know some families would be very upset by that, though it sounds like he's already come out and come out with his partner. So people already know. Now he might talk about marriage. And again, I tend to suggest to people they not use holidays unless it's a normal, calm situation with a low charged family. A higher charged family, highly charged, dysfunctional family. I usually recommend to people that they may want to hold off on their announcements rather than uniting them with the holidays. But he may do that, and he may say they want to get married. Then you have to decide what you're going to do. And I mean, you can be a gray rock, you can be boring, you can be, somebody, if he does make that announcement, well, that's his business and his choice. I'm just going to sit here and read these magazines. I really love them. And kind of distract from that tension if everybody's going to make that a major issue for them. It's not the family marrying the partner, it's him marrying the partner. They have to decide whether they want to love and be supportive of him. I hope that helps, Donna. I know it can be a struggle. I'm not sure I know all the difficulties about that, but I can assume, but I don't want to assume things that you didn't say. Um, Dana asks, or states, your neutral responses have helped me tremendously. Or shall I say, the Jerry Wise choice C. Could you possibly make a video series on neutrality? Much thanks. Oh, I think that's a great idea. And in fact, I am working on an online program that we are working on very hard. Should be coming out soon. I hope you will get in on the beginnings of it because I think that will even be a fun time because I'm going to be participating in the beginnings of it. But it is going to be an online program where people don't need me. They just need to do their work. I certainly would teach them, help them, explain, and give them assignments and such. Um, and one of the segments is going to be on responses. And I've got a whole module on how do you do neutral responses? What thinking goes into that? Because again, I have so many people say, oh, how did you possibly come up with that? And so in this module, I explain what process I go through to come up with that. And I think it will be really a dynamic help to people in formulating their own neutral responses and what makes it neutral. And so I think, and I may want to do even a separate video on that as well. I do have some videos where I do talk a lot about responses. I even have a few lives that I've done in the past where I talked about a lot of neutral responses. But thanks, Dana. I appreciate it. I wanted to ask again if you have a question, write question. And write a brief question so that I can answer. I'm hoping maybe to just stick around for another 15 minutes or so. So if you want to get in, or if you have you want to make a donation because you have a critical question that you would like to ask. In addition to some of these other ways for holidays that we want to survive, I think we also can learn to take time outs. Given all of the busyness for the holidays, have you decided there's something you can do for you to enjoy the holiday and take a time out from cooking, helping, fixing, carrying, decorating? If you enjoy all that and love all that, then that's wonderful. But you also can decide, is there something special I'd like to do this holiday just for me to celebrate this holiday? Another tip is to release your need to control or fix, which I've already talked about tonight. It's important that we don't, um, that we don't fix or control other people. It just makes us more stressed. If you really want to reduce your stress, reduce your controlling of others or the need to. You may not, codependence can be controlling because we're over worrying about everybody. We're always, we think they ought to be doing it this way or that way. And I know that that happens. And so anytime we let that go, it we get a return of less stress and more calmness. I've got another question. I'm not sure. What are the 3 or 5 mantras you have stayed? I'm not sure I know that word. Staywood. Regarding what narcissistic behavior? I'm not sure I know the meaning of that question. I apologize. But I've shared regarding narcissistic behavior, 3 or 5 mantras. Do you mean the soothing statements for adult children of narcissists? The video that I made where I talked about soothing statements or mantras is what they are. I know one of them is I see there's a yes. In fact, I might have even, yep. I would have liked to have done like 10, but I think the video would have been pretty long. There are 4 mantras or sentences that soothe an adult child of a narcissist. I am actually as good as they think I am bad. And when you're in a narcissistic family, opposites are correct. Secondly, I am as right as they think I am wrong. 3, I am someone I can learn to trust. And 4, as an adult, I can live without a parent. I cannot live without inner peace. Or I can live without a family member, or live without a family. But I cannot live without inner peace. And I think those are very important statements for adult children of narcissists. And I invited people to share if they had others that they thought of. I probably got several more that I would use because I think they can be powerful for us to remember that. I remember somebody quoted on the video because I think I know I said in it that, if the devil thinks I'm wrong, I might be doing something right. And that's the kind of logic I would use for narcissistic or malignant narcissists or dysfunctional families. Not because they're the devil, but their thinking is not in a healthy, responsible way and rational way. And so if I'm thinking their way, I'm probably kind of messed up. If I'm thinking my way, I might be on the right side of reality here. There are a few things I do want to share with you. Again, Unplug the Christmas Machine, How to Have the Christmas You've Always Wanted by Joe Robinson. I think that might be a book you might want to consider. And I wanted to also, I'd like to share some soothing beliefs for the holidays with you. Um, the holidays are not the holidays. They are your holidays to celebrate as you choose. And I think we always should remember they are our holidays. A toxic family or family member does not make for a joyous holiday. You don't have to participate with them. That is your adult right. You are responsible for running your life. You're not responsible for running the whole family's life. You're responsible for running and managing yours. Most of the holidays are made up and were chosen to counter the secular or seasonal agricultural holidays that were there. So don't forget, Jesus wasn't born on December the 25th. I think that's been known for centuries upon centuries. And that Thanksgiving was created by Abraham Lincoln. So let's not get all caught up on the particular day. And that's what I've thought about. Well, hey, I'll come and visit you. How about we have our Thanksgiving the week after Thanksgiving? Oh, but that's not Thanksgiving Day. That day was chosen by Abraham Lincoln. It's not sacred in that way. Choose this time to reparent yourself. Be your own Santa. Be your own good parent that you always wanted during the holidays. If you're in a 12-step group, be thankful and celebrate gratefulness during the holidays. It will bring about peace and freedom that we have, and that we have a higher power. Lowering my expectations and increasing my gratefulness can make me more joyous. There's research to back that up. If you want to be happier in a hurry, lower your expectations and increase your gratefulness. Be sure to plan ahead. You can intentionally make the holidays what you would like them to be. Not a fantasy of what you'd like them to be, but a way in which you would like to celebrate them. If you're alone for the holidays, choose it and accept it. Do a Hallmark holiday or a Hallmark Christmas for you. Your food, your music, your movies, your friends you choose, even pets you want to be with, your events you'd like to go to, services, concerts, special lighting events. Choose the holiday that you would like to have and make that your Hallmark holiday. And remember, you're not alone in your holiday experience. It's always irrational to believe life is always greener on the other side. I know many people that have lots of family members they interact with, and it's horrible. And that I know there are many people I know who spend the holidays alone, and it's a blessing for them. So let's not think black and white, but remember you're not alone and that you can control your life and what you would like to do. You are an adult. Well, I think I've probably talked your ear off enough tonight. And I want to thank you so much for your questions and for your donations. I appreciate that very much. If you have difficulty donating, and some people do, you can go to my website and do that as well. Um, because that will help me in creating more new and free videos for you. I want to wish you a very happy holiday. I hope you will be kind to yourself and that you will remember everybody around you in every place. We're all in the same leaky boat. So have patience with other people. We don't know what their lives and what they're going through, just like people may not know what you're going through. So we want to be kind, and I do hope you have a better holiday this year. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you have a great season, and I want you to all enjoy the days that are coming ahead. Have a great day and be wise.